Alright, this is my review for the graphic novel adaptation of Animorphs Book 3, The Encounter, illustrated by Chris Grine. We see Tobias and Rachel and her elephant morph let Price cut Polly out of her cage, and trash the car dealership just like in the book. I felt bad for the owner of the car dealership even more in this adaptation, especially when he said the next commercial they filmed would be for a going out of business sale. Poor guy. We get some pretty good landscape imagery of the city as Tobias flies around. Very well drawn. Before they morph into wolves, Cassie mentions the alpha male theory has been debunked and is no longer valid in regards to wolf psychology. So Chris Grine is openly acknowledging that he made this change because that information was outdated. Which makes me wonder, if we ever get a graphic novel adaptation of Megamorphs 2 in the Time of Dinosaurs, does that mean the theropod dinosaurs are going to have feathers? I sure hope not. I guess only time will tell, but I digress. Something I forgot to mention in the last two reviews, when the Animorphs are using thought speak, this is shown through disconnected thought bubbles of various different colors. Jake has orange, Marco has gray, Cassie has green, Tobias has yellow, and ironically Rachel has pink. Oh, and Visser 3 has red, because he's evil. Makes me wonder, what will Axe's color be? Probably blue like Elfangor. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The design for the truck ship looks pretty good. Looks like a manta ray just like the book said. The truck ship from one of the puzzles is the only other piece of official media we have to compare it to. But since we can't see it in its entirety, the graphic novel version wins by default. The moment that shows Tobias killing and eating the squirrel was very well done. It was a lot more graphic than I was expecting. Also, Tobias seems to have a voice in his head compelling him to act more like a hawk. I guess that's Chris Grine's way of showcasing the hawk instincts. The part when the hork-bajir controller disintegrates a deer with a Dracon beam looked kind of weird. And the beam itself is still yellow instead of red like in the book. The entire process of the kids morphing into trout was a thing of beauty, in a weird reverse evolutionary type of way. When Tobias is surrounded by taxon controllers, it's still daytime. I don't know why, but when I read this part of the story in the book, I always envisioned it being nighttime. The graphic novel shows Price cut Polly's wing being completely severed by the Dracon beam, instead of it getting disintegrated like in the book. When the truck ship goes down in a fiery explosion, Chris Grine did a good job showing the scale of it all. Overall, this adaptation was pretty decent. The only thing keeping this from being good is that the owner of the car dealership implied that he would be going out of business. The book doesn't make you think about it. Here, the comic makes it impossible to ignore. Needless to say, it's a change I'm not in favor of. Also, I think Price cut Polly losing her wing could have been handled better. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video.